Hi, class. We are talking today. This is math, and we're talking about fractions. And our learning target for today, this is our first day of fractions. Our learning target is I can represent a fraction as a sum of fractions. This is why I love fractions, and you'll see what I mean. It's really easy and fun to represent fractions as a sum of fractions. So let's get started. You'll need your notebook. Um, I've already got my notes ahead of time filled out, and I'll show them to you right now. It's really not a lot of notes today. And I'll come back to this. Oh, I noticed I forgot my period. I better put my period on the end of that summary. So the notes, you can pause it at any time and write these notes down. Um, but I'm going to show them. You can always pause the video. So let's go ahead and get started with our video. Okay, so I did write that into my notebook. That's all decomposing means. It's a fancy word for breaking a fraction into parts. So I would go ahead and write that down. Notice I set my notebook up. The topic is decomposing fractions. I have terms and notes. And the first note I wrote was decomposing means to break into parts. For instance, this fraction that is right here is 5/6. I can break that into a variety of different ways, but when I add them all together, the total fraction is 5/6. The term I wrote down was decompose. Let's continue. Remember, you can pause it, write at your own speed, and then continue with the video. And so when we go back to our notebook, we'll experiment with that, breaking down 5/6 into different sums that add up to 5/6. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my notebook, and I've written down that um, graphic or representation that the video made of 5/6. I drew a box, I divided it in half one way, and then in thirds the other way. And then my first example, I wrote 4/6 plus 1/6 equals 5/6. So that's all I did was I said 4 plus 1 is 5. And then the bottom number, which is called our denominator, we'll learn more about that tomorrow, is going to stay the same because in a fraction, all the fractions that we're dealing with in fourth grade, the denominator will stay the same. That represents the number of pieces the object has been cut into. This rectangle has been cut into 6 pieces. That is why it has a 6 on the bottom. You can pause this video to finish writing this down and then continue with the video. So I can think of 2 6 plus 3 6 would equal 5 6. There's a lot of different ways. We're going to try some more. Mm-mm. Oops, let me get this back to the beginning. Okay. I went ahead and wrote this in my notebook as another example. I'll go ahead and erase this right here. And you'll notice that I wrote down 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 3 6. Oh, wait a minute. I actually made a mistake. I am going to need to cross out one of these because that would add up to 6 6. That would not add up to. Ah, I think the other way that they had it was 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 2 6 equals 5 6. So you have to make sure, and it's easy to make a little error, as you just saw, I made an error. You have to make sure that the numerator, which is the top number, adds up to the numerator in the answer. So 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6, that's 3, plus 2 is 5. Up here, 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5. So I had made a little small error, which happens. I'm just glad I caught myself and I caught my error. Let's continue with the video. Remember, you can pause to finish writing if you would like. Okay, this is the last part of the video. Okay, see? Really wasn't too painful. Now let's finish looking at my notes. Um, I'll show you this part that I wrote. I added that you can decompose a fraction in more than one way, and I added a couple other ways, like 2 6 plus 2 6 plus 1 6 equals 5 6, or I made 5 1/6, and that would equal 5 6. My summary, I wrote fractions can be decomposed or broken down into parts that add up to the fraction. I'm going to show you my whole notebook page. It's really not a lot of notes today. Once you're finished with the note taking, it's time to try some problems on your own. And you can do that in the seesaw. And so I'm actually going to just go there right now. So you can pause this, finish your notes, but I'm going to continue with the video so that you can do the work. It's in Seesaw. And actually, I'm just going to go over here. I think I might have even had it open already. I've got a lot of tabs, as you can see. Yep, I've already got it open. So we'll do the guided practice together, and then you're gonna work on the independent practice. There's 4 problems, and please pick 2 problems from the second page to complete. Okay, let's take a look at these problems. The good news is they have an example at the top. I love that. Okay. If I'm looking at the guided practice, it says write each fraction or mixed number as a sum of fractions in two ways. Now, this is located on Seesaw, so you'll want to go to Seesaw to complete this and then activate the pencil. So I'm going to say 1/5 plus, I'm trying to make 3/5, so 2/5 would equal 3/5. And then on this one, 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 would equal 3/5. 1 and 3/4. Now this one is a little bit tricky. We didn't really talk about that, but you can look up here at the answer up here. 1 whole is equal to 4/4. So like if I had a square and it was a whole, for example, I'll draw it right here, and I cut this into fourths, and I don't take any away, I have 4/4. So 1 whole equals 4/4. So I could write 4/4 plus 3/4. That would equal 1 whole and 3/4. Now, if I want to write this another way, I can think to myself that 1 and 3/4 is equal to 7/4. How did I get that? I added 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. The bottom number stays the same, which is the numerator, or the denominator. The top number is your numerator. The bottom number is your denominator. So I could break 7/4 into, I could decompose that into 5/4 plus 2/4. And that would give me 7/4, which would also equal 1 and 3/4. Try your best on that. This is brand new to you. You have not seen mixed numbers before, so this is a new skill. We're going to work with them all week. When I say mixed number, I mean a whole number and a fraction together. Let's look at this one. Complete the following statement, then draw a model to show that the statement is true. 7/8 equals, well, we could write 5/8 plus 2/8, right? And it says to draw a model. Well, I'm going to draw a model of 8. Five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 2, 1. I'm going to put an X for these. 2. When that adds all up, it equals 7/8. Justify. Paul said that the sum of 1/10 plus 7/10 plus 4/10 is the same sum as this. Well, my first thing would be I would find what the sum equals. And if they're the same, guess what? I've got equal fractions. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12/10. And then I have 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 12/10. So I have exactly 12/10 and 12/10. So he is correct. When I added the sums together, I got 12/10. Well, it's now time for you to try the next 4 problems by yourself and then 2 problems from the second page. Good luck, and remember, you're going to go to the teacher table and talk with your teacher and find out more about this. So try your best. That's what counts. Bye for now.